Hello, and thank you to the directors of Heritage Education Network Belize for this culture symposium and for the opportunity to share this topic. As a music educator myself, I became curious about the teachers that came before me. Today I will share some of what I learned looking in the albums of Mrs. Floss Casasola. I will supplement this information with other bits I've gathered over the years. I will share information about people, especially ladies, whose names are not widely known today, but whose works still resonate with us. So, what about the lives that these teachers led? First, I'd like to start with taking a look at the life of Mrs. Floss Casasola. Miss Floss was a school teacher and principal for well over 50 years. And it seems as if she was a music educator for the same length of time. In addition to being the president of the British Honduras Federation of Teachers, she found time to be choir leader and head of the Excelsior Drama Club, and many other things, being involved in the community. Here's a picture of Miss Floss on a trip to Merida, presumably with the British Honduras Federation of Teachers. This group was the forerunner to the Belize National Teachers Union. Here's a picture of Miss Floss at the Bliss, what we often refer to as the Old Bliss. And here is Laura Jean Hope Stain, LRAM, by all accounts, who inspired her students greatly. In one student's words, she really helped us to blossom. She passed away way too early, and her tragic passing, inspired the composition of the work Mass in Blues by her then student, Francis Renaud. Here is another teacher, Helen Agnes Craig, who was the student of her aunt. By all accounts, little Helen gave a solo performance, a solo piano recital in 1919. She is Belize's first recorded prodigy. The next prodigy on record in Belize is Francis Renaud. The recital program of 1957 records Francis Renaud performing at the age of 3 years old. So what was the study of music like? In this presentation, I'm focusing largely on piano education, a field of work that produces musicians with broad skills who have gone on to excel in various areas of music. The 1966 newspaper clipping shows Muriel Leng with the letters behind her name, LRAM, ARCM, and GRSM in order. These are accomplishments only gained by dedication, serious commitment to the study of music. The next slide shows a collection of orchestral scores from the library of the late Max Stock. This indicates the amount of hours dedicated to studying note by note of these large-scale works. The earliest document found of a recital is from 1951 in which the pupils of Mrs. Flas Casasola's B-Sharp Club gave their piano recital at Harvey Hall. Some of the performers were Colville Norbert Young and Marie Foreman, who both went on to be music leaders in our community. In regards to music exam results from the Associated Board, the earliest document found in Belize is from 1954. In this, we see Mrs. Enid Hilton, LRAM, as a presenter of candidates. So far, the indication is that it is she who introduced these exams to Belize. In the same document, we see Marie Foreman, later Marie Saldiva, as a student of Mrs. Hilton, after she was a student of Miss Floss. For Miss Hazel Wade, LRAM, she presented candidates such as Rosalie Fairweather, Colville Young, who both went on to be music leaders. It has been interesting to see the movement of students from one teacher to another, many beginning with Miss Floss, some moving on to Miss Hazel Wade, and to see the evolution of some of the young musicians moving from being students to becoming teachers. Students such as Yvonne Pilgrim Sweet, who shows up as a student of Miss Floss, Mrs. Hilton, and then went on to become a music teacher herself and choral director. Students like Laura Jean Hope Stain, who was a student of Hazel Wade and then established her own studio. Students like Ida Ann Collins, student of Miss Hazel Wade, and later Laura Jean Hope Stain, and then established her own studio as well. Students such as Sister Mary Therese, who was a student of Hazel Wade, and later started the Palotti School of Music. And speaking of evolution of young students becoming teachers and music leaders, we see young Helen Craig developing into becoming a teacher of Francis Renaud and of Daphne Sharon, who established the Sharon Southside Singers and created the Children's Festival of Arts, along with Sisti Fairweather. We see the evolution from being students into leaders and teachers in people like Yvonne Pilgrim, Marie Foreman Saldiver, Mura Leng, Betty Rock, Judith Rock, and Victoria Pratt Cunningham. And back to Miss Floss. Here's a picture of her B-Sharp Music Club students in the 1970s at the Bliss in performance. That was a glimpse into who some of the music educators were. I chose to focus on the ladies. This will contribute and add to the deepening of our understanding of our inheritance. In this glimpse, we see some evidence of transmission of knowledge, of values, of culture and identity via family, via community. This is our Belize heritage. This is a part of our human heritage. This document will become a part of the Belize Music Project as a part of the niche database. And lest we think that these were only agents of colonialism, there was a sense of agency at work, a sense of self the entire time. And here's evidence of that cultural transmission. I asked 3 different people who were students of Miss Floss, to share what they remember of a song she had created. Some people learned the song in school. Some learned it in a community setting. Here are 3 slightly different versions, just as they were recollected. The song is called Mango de Drop. Enjoy.
Mango they drop, biff buff, biff buff. Mango they drop, biff buff, biff buff. Mango they drop, biff buff, biff buff. Mango they drop, biff buff, biff buff.
On a girl, on a boy. Mango they drop, biff buff, biff buff. On a girl, on a boy. Mango they drop, biff buff.